Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Marquette Golden Eagles Dynasty here on NCAA Football 14. It's Year 6 Senior Day, so we're going to be saying goodbye and paying some homage to some players who are set to leave us. Marquette at number 15 in the nation, coming off a 17-7 loss at Georgia last week against the Bulldogs, and Jason Smith back as the starting quarterback as Greg Walker he left last week's game with a concussion, and he remains in the concussion protocol and still hampering knee injury. So I'm not sure if we're going to see Greg Walker again this season, but it is a senior day, so we will talk about him a little bit, along with some other players that we're set to lose really the majority of our Year 2 recruiting class, plus Bobby Price, who is the last man on this team from that Year 1 recruiting class. We're here at the BMO Bradley Center for the final time here in Year 6, hosting New Mexico State. Our last two senior days, we fell last year against Notre Dame. That was a very tough game, I think 13-9, and I don't think we found the end zone in that one. And then the year prior, we faced a number 4 Virginia team and lost that one 22-21. That was a wild game for those who remember that one. But now Year 6, and we're set to say goodbye to the next wave of players who have come through the program. So Hunter Kraft on for the opening kickoff. We're now underway from the BMO Bradley Center, as I said, for the final time here in Year 6, and I can't believe how quickly we've kind of breezed through this dynasty. I know I've mentioned college football 25 a little bit, and we certainly will get there at some point. The more I kind of play it between sessions with here on NCAA 14, the more I kind of get an itch to start a dynasty on that one. But all in good time, as New Mexico State will start from the 25 here. They'll go on the ground game there for Oliver. Anthony Oliver, an 85 overall running back, along with the quarterback, both 85 overall. An experienced receiving core here. The top 4 guys, all seniors, all around 80 overall. So a solid offense for New Mexico State. As Brooks, good patience there in the pocket. Strong stiff arm there up the sideline, and Omar Wilson forcing out Derek Gold. Going back to Year 1, we defeated New Mexico State for the 3rd win in program history. I think that game 35-17. So hopefully we go for a sack there, and we do get it. That's Bobby Price, the senior, and he's going to get rewarded with a sack. Actually, the favorite right now to win the Bednarik Award and the Best Linebacker Award. A good spin move there. Jake Witherspoon, originally home, our leading sack man right now with 4, but Bobby Price will pick up his first. Now 2nd and 14, a great play to start senior day today. Oliver, and then he's going to be stopped there by Bobby Price, only 2 yards. And we actually haven't even had an award winner throughout this series, so Bobby Price very well might be the first, the last man standing from Year 1. Brooks to pass. That one sails past his man, and Marquette forces the 4th down. Man, hopefully you guys have some patience with me. Whenever I start an episode, I kind of stumble on my words, kind of, stumble out of the gate, but as we go along, kind of get more comfortable, more in rhythm. And that punt, really not a good one from the Aggies. There's Jason Smith making his 4th start of the year, 3-0. 8 touchdown passes to just 1 interception for the redshirt freshman. Alexander gets the first carry, the senior. Good carry there out of the gate, 16 yards towards the 50. Alexander, the 299th ranked player from the Year 2 recruiting class. A 3-star out of Illinois, going to graduate as our all-time leading rusher. Now Smith will keep on the read option. Good hole opens up the middle, and he gets 13. Smooth sailing so far. Marquette already down to the 40. And a good defensive stand to start the game. And we will go back to Alexander. Good patience there. Walker on the pole, but we only get 3. So we've played New Mexico State twice in this series so far. Next year, we definitely got to get the Lobos on the schedule. I think Gus Malzahn, the head coach there, last I saw, I think they actually were bidding for a bowl game. Now 2nd and 7 will stick with the run. There's the freshman Jared Luke, and he's brought down behind the line. That's Josh Mason on the stop. Also worth noting, redshirt junior Kenneth Pope is going to miss the rest of the season. So Dylan Anderson and Tommy Washington will be asked more of in a larger role. Now 3rd down, Smith takes the snap. Go downfield. There's that Anderson, as it is right on cue. Dylan Anderson dragging a man towards the end zone as he's finally ripped down there at the 1. I think just his 5th catch of the year. That one for 36. And he already had one of over 30 yards. Anderson, the redshirt sophomore, 6'4", 220 there on the outside. And now Dusty Alexander the carry, and the senior scores on senior day. Flawless start so far from the Golden Eagles. Now we'll get the first studio update of the day, as number 5 Penn State currently leading number 13 Michigan State. That Big Ten has been very strong this year. Ohio State, Michigan also up there as you'd expect. It's actually really going to be interesting to see who ends up winning the Big Ten this year. Entering this week, Georgia Tech at number 1 and Navy at number 2. Wilkinson, a good return there as he shimmies his way up to the 32. Before we move along in the action, we'll take a look at some of the seniors we're set to lose here. Bobby Price, the 5th-year senior, already saw him with a sack. 82 overall, but 92 speed, 91 acceleration. The best athlete we have in the linebacking core. Really going to miss him next year. 88 play rec, 86 block shed. The tackle at 78, not the best, and I remember mentioning early on in his career, he kind of struggled as a tackler. Only 71 zone, but he's turned out to be a very good player. Only a 2-star, like I said, this year, leading the Bednarik Award, along with best linebacker. Last year, he had a couple sacks, got his first in this game on the first series. 7 tackles for loss each of the past 2 seasons. 1 interception, a pick 6 this year. I think that was actually a user pick 6 we had. So a very illustrious career for Bobby Price. Now we'll bounce back to the secondary, and we'll go to Mark Henry, an All-American strong safety this year. The tackle production not as good as last year, but he actually does lead our team in tackles for loss with 11. He's been tremendous in run support. His first and only interception this year with 2 pass deflections. A true senior, so he started right out of the gate. And he actually was an athlete, the first athlete commit we got in this series. A decent athlete, 85 awareness, 85 play rec with good zone. Good hit power at 78. Well, decent, I guess we'll say, with 83 jumping. At corner, we're going to lose Robert Williamson, and he's probably one of my favorite players over the course of this series. One of our highest rated players in that year 2 class. 99 awareness, going to be an 86 overall when he leaves. Good athlete overall with 93 zone, 92 man, and 91 press. 77 play rec, 84 pursuit. Last year, he had 3 interceptions in like the first 2 games. I think he had 2 in the first week, but this year only 1. I think that came last week or the week before. I don't know. It definitely wasn't against Georgia, but 3 in his freshman year, 2 in his sophomore year, with 3 pick 6s in that span, but none since. So really productive his first 2 years. Kind of fell off a little bit, but still a very good player. Maybe the best corner we've ever had, but I think Juice Campbell might have something to say about that. Aaron Clark, another 4-year starter in the secondary. 2 sacks this year. Each came in the same game with 6 pass deflections, 1 interception, which came last week, a very big one there in the end zone. Over his career, going to end as an 84 overall, 96 awareness, 94 man, 93 zone, 88 press. So we're not going to lose many players on the defense this year, but most of them are going to come in the secondary there. You know, losing our starting strong safety and our top 2 corners. And back to the action. 4:42 left here in the first. New Mexico State trying to get some, trying to generate a better drive this go around. They'll start play action. Brooks still in the pocket to try and run for it, and he's hit hard there by Troy Walker. And CJ Brooks gets 2. So we're going to lose 4 or 5 starters on defense. On offense, only like 2 or 3. Greg Walker at quarterback, but we're in good hands there with Jason Smith. Brooks again going to run. Tries to break a Chris Carter tackle there, but Robert Williamson will bring him down. First down at the 45. And they will go to Oliver this time. That was Perkins off the edge getting in the backfield, but Oliver dragging him ahead a couple yards. Only 2 there for the senior running back. Now halfway through this 4th quarter, 2nd and 8. Swing it out for Black, and a big hit from Robert Williamson, only 1 yard. New Mexico State now at the 48. 3rd and 7. And they'll fake. Quick one there for Black. And he does get ahead for the first down, just barely. 1st and 15 now after a false start. New Mexico State smack dab at the 50. He's going to be brought down for a sack. That's Jake Witherspoon. He got home earlier but didn't finish. And this time he gets the sack, his 5th of the year. Our redshirt junior. He actually was a 2nd-team All-American last year. On pace to maybe match that again. 2nd and 23, New Mexico State knocked back a bunch after the penalty and the sack. And now Bobby Price, great lateral movement there following the run. Gets the TFL, now 3rd and very long. For the most part, we've scheduled pretty, formidable opponents, but New Mexico State Probably the weakest on the schedule this year. And 4 to catch over the middle. Another big hit from Bobby Price. And they're going to have to punt. Or maybe you could say Eastern Michigan back in week 2 was our weakest opponent, but I guess fairly even. Otherwise, you know, all Power 5 schools, I believe, maybe all but one. This punt, a pretty decent one for a CPU punt. I think that might go inside the 20. Now we'll look at some of the offensive seniors we're going to lose. So Dusty Alexander, with a 299th ranked player in that year 2 recruiting class. Up until that point, he was the highest player we brought in. I think even going into year 4, he was still the highest player we brought in. Elusiveness at 85, 82 break tackle and juke, 81 spin. Looking at the stats, going to end, as I said, as the leading rusher in Marquette history, going back to his sophomore year, 883, which is probably going to be his career high unless he can get about, what, like 370 in the final 3 games, which is doable. We're going to try and get him a big day today. 10 touchdowns going back to that year as well, 9 in the past 2 years combined, and a few more touchdowns. I think he'll end as our leading touchdown man as well. The only receiver we're going to lose is Kevin Coleman, 94 acceleration, 85 catching, 87 spec catch with 91 carrying. Had some punt returns reps the past couple weeks. Last year, 518 receiving with 3 touchdowns. This year, a little down at 355, but he's going to get a lot more targets, you would think, down the stretch with the injury to Kenneth Pope. So only those 2, and then going over to right tackle, we'll lose just 1 lineman, and that's Justin Hill, the 92 overall. Kind of up and down for him. He came in as the highest player we've ever, you know, signed. He was like a 77 overall gem, a 3-star, a top 350 prospect back in that year 2 class. He started every single game at right tackle over the past 4 seasons. So is that like 52 games, and he's been up and down, like I said, but overall very good, especially this year. Only 2 sacks allowed, and he's really, you know, coming along here as he's progressed. Maybe the first draft pick in program history. We'll see how that goes. And then, of course, you can't forget about Greg Walker. I have to go off the depth chart here. And he, too, will be a 92, 93 overall. Going to leave the program as our all-time leading passer, all-time leader in wins. I think his record to this point, 28 and 15. 48 touchdown passes to 34 interceptions, a pretty good ratio. This year, he was completing 73%. Career-wise, 68% with just under 7,800 passing yards. And I don't know if we're going to see him again or not. We'll see how the concussion protocol goes along here. 99 awareness, 92 overall, as I said. A good athlete at the position. Nothing overpowering there, but more accurate at 87 throw accuracy. And since week 3, back in that year 3 season, he came in against Louisville, a ranked Louisville team, led a game-winning drive, and he never looked back up until this year when he's been dealing with some injuries. So who are you going to miss most from this year 6 team? Dusty Alexander, Justin Hill at right tackle. Always got to give, you know, the linemen some recognition. We'll go with Alexander here to the outside. Breaks a couple tackles and then tripped up 5 yards. So like I said, Alexander, Hill. On defense, you have Mark Henry, Robert Williamson, Aaron Clark, Bobby Price, and then Antonio Carr at D end, who I actually didn't highlight yet, but we'll get to him, the all-time leader in sacks. Now 2nd and 5, Smith takes the snap. Stumped it off for Alexander. Tried to spin away, and that's going to lose 3. I don't know why I ever bothered dumping it off in those spots. It never really works out for positive yardage. Now we'll come out empty here with 4 receivers on the field. Smith takes the snap. And Justin Hill gave up that pressure just around the edge. No contest there. And we see him do that once in a while, just like kind of plays he gives up on. And we just barely avoid the safety. Now punting on 4th and 8 from our own 20 or so. Not how I envisioned this drive going. Castillo on for the punt. That's going to be fielded at the 39. Wilkinson had a good kick return earlier. This time a good punt return, so he'll take that into Marquette territory down to the 32. On defense, I probably will miss Mark Henry the most. He's brought some swagger to the defense. Very solid, reliable player, and that's Andrew Thomas, who just got rocked out there in space. Missed a block, got flattened. Missed a tackle and then got flattened. CJ Brooks all the way down to the inch-yard line. And New Mexico State is on the doorstep of tying it up as we approach the minute mark here in this first quarter. They're going to go option here. Brooks going to keep, and he finishes what he started as he gets in for the score. Now 1 minute remaining Marquette will start the 25 now. A tie ball game here in Milwaukee. Craig Jones into the game for the first time. Going to go on the counter. Running behind his block. Splits a man. Still going up the sideline now. Craig Jones gets loose. And he gets 25 towards the 50. Good vision there from Jones. He's been bottled up here all season. Now first down at the 50. We'll go right back to him. Good blocking there on the inside. And he'll take that for 4. Marquette now at an even 100 yards on the day. Jared Luke back out there, the true freshman. Gonna go speed option. We try and pitch. And we do not get that going at all. I don't even know what I want to say right here. I didn't expect that to, bat off the lineman like that. I thought it was a fairly clean pitch, but a bad read on my part. And that's something we really haven't done. We haven't really turned it over on these speed options. We usually play it conservative. Last week we had a close call, but Greg Walker was actually able to recover it. And New Mexico State prime field position here in Marquette territory. 14 seconds left in the first. Brooks going to throw that one away. So with that fumble lost, I think we're now negative in turnover differential. I think a -1 now. Brooks going to keep on the drop back. Price a big hit. Now 3rd and 7, as that will bring us into the second quarter. At first it looked like Marquette was, going to set up for a blowout here today. But since New Mexico State got a nice drive going, Marquette turned it over. We had to punt. So we are tied here on senior day after 1. Overall, New Mexico State, a pretty good offense, well, at least decent offense, but at left guard, a 64 overall true freshman starter, so that's probably their weakness, as Gold heard the footsteps and a good play there by Perkins, forcing the 4th. A touchback there, so Marquette at the 20 now, just going to go back to the run here and just try and resemble what we did on our opening drive. Here's Alexander. That time, good backside pursuit, working around the line, no gain. 2nd down. Go back to Alexander here. Takes that outside for 5. Now 3rd and 5. Now 1 minute through this second quarter. Smith on the drop back. Have a man there towards the sideline. That's the senior Coleman. And he can't hang on through the catch. I don't know why he tried a toe tap there. Kind of contorted his body. Should just try to drag towards the sideline there. So now we're going to have to punt from our own 25. Now here's Castillo on for another one. Looks like he might have been hit into the kick, but they don't call anything, as that's fair caught at the 29. So I think that was a 46-yard punt from Castillo, if my calculations are correct, and we'll take that every time. Now first down. Brooks fakes it. He's going to run again. I gotta have to get a spy on him at some point, as Perkins forces him out along there with Bobby Price. 21 yards on the QB scramble. He's now at 59 rushing yards and a score. The Aggies get set back up now at the 49. Brooks to pass. Again, he's going to run. Can't bring him down there as Antonio Carter, and then Carter finally gets to him. Another first down for the Aggies. Mexico State at the 39. They'll fake. Brooks, I thought he was going to run again. He throws it that time to Waters. And he brings that down to the 15. 23 yards. And you're like, going back to our offense, it usually takes Jason Smith a little bit to get going, but definitely a second half quarterback. Quick one there for Hicks, breaks a tackle, and then Omar Wilson brings him down. 2nd and 2 now inside the 10. See what they draw up here. We're going to bring some pressure, and he keeps. We had a man home there to bring him down, but he just totally missed. And Mark Henry coming off a block, and that's going to be fatal here for New Mexico State. Their quarterback like an 85 overall, and now they have to resort to a 67, I think, overall freshman quarterback or sophomore. So a lot of inexperience now under center, as New Mexico State was trying to complete the upset here today. A very good start. To sideline there, and Ford gets that one. So Casey Williams comes out of the bullpen cold, and he gets a 3-yard strike there as the Aggies take the lead. No one home there. A good route towards the sideline. So Marquette now trailing, and I did not expect this in this matchup. Can't be complacent. We'll start with the running game. Alexander finds a hole. He gets 5. Marquette now at the 30. And they go right back to him. Good blocking there. Alexander spinning the open move, but a good disciplined tackle there from the safety, staying home, not biting. And CJ Brooks there for the Aggies is out for the game, so a huge loss there. And we'll see how their offense responds. Now Smith on the play action. That throw was way offline, and Sean Underwood drops an easy interception. And Jason Smith, we haven't really seen too many misses like that with his accuracy. I mean, he's only like an 81 throw accuracy, but that one was bad. Still probably an ill-advised pass regardless, one we shouldn't have made. But that was way offline. Now 2nd and 10. Come out in the I formation. We'll go back to Alexander. Terry picks up a block there, tries to at least, and that allowed us to get 6. The running game has been very strong so far, so maybe Alexander give him like 20 carries today. They're down. Good push up front, and Alexander just short of the first down. Knee went down before the line to gain. So 4th and 1 from the 50, and we're going to go for it. And someone I forgot to mention, Josh Terry. We're going to be losing him as well. Can't believe that was an oversight. Just the JUCO guy, so I lost track of that one as Terry just barely gets ahead for the first down. The slot, fullback, do-it-all offensive weapon. Really going to miss Josh Terry and that extra layer he brought to the offense. Now Marquette at the 50. Good block there at left tackle by Roger Cook. Alexander zigging and zagging. He gets 15. Roger Cook, the true freshman at left tackle. Looked like he tabletopped a guy on that one. 1st and 10 now at the 35. Alexander to the outside, and he can't get off that tackle. No gain. 2nd and 10. Smith on the drop back. Go for Terry there, and we hit him as Terry gets 11. Now less than 3 minutes in the half. Smith will keep on the read option. Good blocking develops. There's Tommy Washington out in space. Smith now still going. He's tripped up there at the 2-yard line. 20 yards for the quarterback, and that's what he provides. 1st and goal now. Actually come out in the Wildcat, but Smith was in this formation even before becoming the starter. 1st and goal. We'll go play action jet sweep. And the linebacker read that all the way. 5-yard loss. Sean Underwood dropped that interception earlier, but a big run stop this time. Now 2nd and goal as we approach the 2-minute mark of the half. Alexander another give, and he'll take that all the way down to the 1. 3rd and goal now from the I formation. We go back to Alexander, and he is kept out of the end zone. We'll try again. Back out in the I formation. This time we'll go for Josh Terry. And he gets the job done. Trucks over the big D tackle and busts his way into the end zone for the senior day touchdown. For the JUCO transfer from last year, has been a crucial, pivotal piece in the offense. Instrumental in our success the past 2 years. And it's good to see him find pay dirt today. And now 1:10 remaining in the half. I was kind of torn on whether we wanted to just burn the clock and just leave little for New Mexico State, but I think our defense can maybe get a stop, and maybe we can get even more points in the half. But of course that could come back to bite us, but I do trust the defense despite some mishaps here today so far, especially with the backup quarterback now in there. CJ Brooks was killing us. It always seems there's a good player killing us and then they get hurt. And a big hit there from Chris Carter, 8 yards for Anthony Oliver. New Mexico State takes a timeout. The Aggies now going 5 wide here. Williams on the drop back. Throws that one. A good throw. Kind of on the run. Hooks up with Ford again. I think Ford was one who had that touchdown. And they'll call another timeout. 1 minute now left. Bobby Price already 8 tackles in this first half. 2 for a loss with that sack. Be on man coverage here with the running back. Just staying back to block. Over the middle. And Hicks hangs on. New Mexico State gets set. The 36 Williams to pass. And that one out of bounds, 2nd down. 50 seconds left. Williams takes the snap, swings that out for Oliver. And he does hang on. A good hit there from Aaron Clark. It's going to be a 3rd and 7. I think they'll hurry back, as they will. And we're now less than 40 seconds left here in the 2nd quarter. Williams gets set. And that one just throws it away. So I think the Aggies will go for a field goal. This one a 50-yard attempt for the Aggies to take the lead as we approach halftime. This one is up. That one's going to slice wide as Robert Williamson going to take this. The senior Robert Williamson still going now past the 40. Breaks the tackle, and then he's forced out there, past the 50. Thought we were going to be able to break that one free. As we see Michigan State now has the lead over Penn State 21-17 early in the 3rd. Now 20 seconds here. Marquette from the 48-yard line. Definitely a chance here to get some points, especially with all their timeouts, but they do have to make these play calls worthwhile. And there, miscommunication with Quincy Bonner. That goes incomplete. Quincy Bonner, the true sophomore, getting a little more looks now with Kenneth Pope out. Smith takes the snap. Try to go near sideline, double pump there. And Smith brought down only 11 seconds now. That right bumper button always seems to not work in the most pivotal spots. Now 11 seconds remaining. We'll just put Washington on a slant. Gonna put the line to the right. Smith takes the snap. Let's try and run this one with Smith maybe in the field goal range. We do get the first down, so time for maybe one more quick play. This would be a 54-yarder. Then we're going to have to try and get a quick hit. I don't think Kraft is hitting from this range, so maybe Z-spot out of ace bunch, get a quick completion, and put us further into field goal range, hopefully. Hopefully we don't chew all this clock, although I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. We go to Terry, and we go out with 1 second left. That worked out perfectly. And we'll now trot out Hunter Kraft for the go-ahead field goal attempt here to end the half. I think Kraft's just a freshman kicker still. His first season, the #1 kicker last year, as I thought that one was going to go wide left, but it does tuck in there as Marquette will head into halftime with the lead. A good late game management there. You know, we didn't waste all of the clock on that touchdown drive. That missed field goal from New Mexico State. Williamson on that nice return got us into a position where we got a quick hit there in the passing game and ultimately cashed in for 3 points and the lead as the Golden Eagles lead here on senior day 17-14. Hopefully we could pull away in the second half. This was a game I was hoping would just go smooth sailing, but hopefully we are more of a second half team in recent seasons, and Jason Smith, it's well documented that he kind of comes alive as the game goes on. So hopefully that's the case here today, and we can pull away with a strong second half and kind of maybe force a blowout here on the year 6 senior day. 17-14 Golden Eagles after one half. And we'll let Dusty Alexander take this one out of his own end zone. He's had some good returns here this year. Works this one up to 40, past the 50. A good spin move there in the open field. And he's brought down at New Mexico State's 43-yard line, a 61-yard return. Almost identical across the board here. I mean, 17-14 points. We have 3 more plays than they do, and about, 15 more yards with 1 more first down. I think we'll see a heavy dose of the running game here to start the second half. Just trying to control the clock from here on out. Our running game has been very successful so far. Smith can't, Mike George was trying to lead the way there. Couldn't get going. Smith ran into him, and Josh Mason stuck with it. A good play there out of the gate. We go slant bubble here. We've only, I think, ran this once in the series, and I think it worked out pretty well. Smith on the drop back and go slant here to Kevin Coleman. Hangs on that time. 10 yards now, 3rd and 3. 3rd and short now for the Golden Eagles. And they'll hand it to Alexander. A lot of space going upfield. Kind of ran into his own block there, but I'd like to see Marquise Cole getting into the second level. And now Alexander at 90 rushing yards. I think we're actually audible to a run here. Light box. Get Terry up there on the line, a decent blocker. Now Marquette at the 25. And here's Alexander, another carry. And he'll take that for 6. 2nd and 4 here. We go play action, halfback out. Smith for Washington. And the defender, a good play on the ball. Washington couldn't handle that one. 3rd and 4, come out in the I formation. We'll go back to Alexander. And he finds the lane, gets the first down. He's now over 100 rushing yards on the day. We'll stay out there in the I, but we'll go with Sale here. See if we can kind of catch him off guard. Smith takes the snap. We have Mason. I'm sorry, that's Anderson. And how did that not cross the plane? Dylan Anderson, another big catch here today. Now 2 for 49. And maybe just the nose of the ball away from crossing the plane there. First down, 1st and goal. Now at the 1-yard line. Now Craig Jones into the game at running back. He'll get the give here, and he'll find the end zone for maybe the first or only 2nd time this season. As Marquette a strong drive to start the half. They're now up 24-14. Marquette defense out there in the 3-4 set for the first time today. Mexico State from the shotgun. Williams to pass. He's going to be brought down. Pressure got home very quickly. And that's Jed Brigham off the right side of the defense. Bobby Price also coming off the edge there. The left tackle could not handle it. Edwards also got home off the left side, and New Mexico State very confused on that one. Even Antonio Carr beat his block. The Aggies now backed up to the 18, 2nd and 16. And then we'll go to Oliver here, a run play up the middle, and he gets 9, now 3rd and 7. Now 5 minutes left here in the third, a third down here for the Aggies. They'll go screen. Chris Carter responding there, and he brings down Harrington, no gain. And New Mexico State will have to punt deep in their own territory. Marquette now up 10, a chance to really pull away here on this drive. 4:30 remaining in the quarter. Mexico State brought pressure, so we'll just dump it off for Anderson, trying to split some blocks there. But we're brought down. 16 there for Anderson, now at 65. With that, Smith now at 100 passing yards, 7 out of 13 so far. Jared Luke in the backfield will go inside instead of that stretch run. Luke up the middle, and he gets 1 or 2. 2nd and 8. I'm going to try a speed option again. We had a nice one the other week. We had Alexander, I think, a 39-yard touchdown run on the speed option. This time, we're not going to risk it. We'll just take the loss. Now, 3rd and 11, Nicholas Johnson read that one all the way. A very good heads-up play. 3rd and 11, Smith from the shotgun. So got empty. A little late on that Josh Terry read. A good ball from Smith, and Terry hangs on at the sideline. 20 for the senior. Should have threw that a couple seconds earlier, but we'll take the result. Now 4 receivers out there. Craig Jones in the backfield. Smith takes the snap, dumped it off for Terry. Should have went for Anderson there, but we'll still take the 5-yard dump off. We go strong power here with Alexander. 2nd and 5. Trying to run behind a block there. Good spin move. We get ahead for 10. Marquette now at the 23. Smith on the drop back. Dumped it off for Sam Manning. Works his way away from a defender. And Manning gets 6 on the dump off. Now 2nd and 4, Marquette back in the red zone. Go triple option this time. Get the pitch for Alexander. Keeps his balance, breaks a tackle. And then he's wrestled down there inside the 10. 9 yards for Alexander. We'll stay in the pistol full house here. 1st and goal. And a direct give for Alexander. Good read there by the D-line. And the linebacker gets home for the tackle for loss. Again, that's Sean Underwood. 20 carries on the day for Alexander. We really don't see that much from a running back. Really split duties, but here on senior day, we'll give him a heavy dose. Also with McBride out, that kind of gives him more of a workload. 2nd and goal now, Smith on the drop back. Going to try and take off and run for this one. And really nothing there. 3rd and goal now. 3rd and goal now, 30 seconds left in this third quarter. We'll give it back to Alexander, trying to find the end zone for the 2nd time today. And he does come up short. But with that, we will go into the 4th quarter. Marquette up 24-14. Going back to our control the clock approach. Just keep the ball in our offense's hands with a 10-point lead now. Probably going to go for it on 4th and goal at the 2. If we do miss out, I don't think the Aggies can really drive the length of the field. And even if they do, that'll probably eat up a lot of time. So I think we'll just come out I formation and pound it in, hopefully. I think we'll go back to Terry, try and get him number 2. I think he only has 2 rushing touchdowns on the year, including the one earlier. I think he does have better trucking than Alexander does. So we'll go to him here, 4th down. And he is stood up there at the 1-yard line. Fighting there. Again, that's the linebacker. His name escapes me right now, but a very active, I think, Sean Underwood. A very active day. And it stays a 10-point game. At the 1-yard line here, still seeking our first safety of the series. We'll come out in the 5-2. And they go to Oliver. A good stop there by Chris Carter. Bobby Price getting over to help. And they remain at the 1. That's kind of how it was last week against Georgia. And then on the next play, they went play action and got a big hit. And they go Oliver again. Mark Henry missed the tackle. I think we might have had it there. Omar Wilson holds him up, and Williamson there to finish the job. And it's now 3rd and 1. We're just going to go right back to it. Run pinch again here so we can bring him down in the backfield. And Oliver again finds the hole and just barely gets the first down. A good tackle there by Wilson. So Casey Williams, I believe that was his name, now out of the game too, holding his rib area. And New Mexico State now onto their 3rd-string quarterback. Oh, disregard. I thought it was. Maybe it was the receiver. I could have swore in the animation it showed the quarterback, but I guess it was another player. Williams, a completion there, 4 yards. As we are now a minute through this 4th quarter of play. Marquette up by 10. Should be up by more, but that doesn't really matter. As long as you get get out of here with a win. Sean Jefferson, I think his first carry takes that ahead for 7 and a first. Now first down Mexico State at the 23, 22. We'll go back to Jefferson here. Good carry, good blocking. And Omar Wilson, another big hit downhill. But Jefferson does get 12. Williams gets set. The Aggies at the 34. Play action. And Aaron Clark gets burnt there. That's gold. But Clark does get the tackle. 43 yards over the top. And Casey Williams kind of looking good too. Both quarterbacks here have kind of had their way with us. New Mexico State a quick strike. And I said if they were going to work their way down the field, it might take a while, but it certainly hasn't. Still only not even a minute and a half into this quarter. Casey Williams will keep there on the fake. And he gets 8. 2nd and 2 now at the 15. And they go with Jefferson there. Finally, we got to stop as Jake Witherspoon rips him down. That was actually Oliver, the running back. So now New Mexico State down their quarterback and running back in this game. Underneath there for Reese, and Perkins, a big hit. And that's 3 yards for Greg Reese, but now a 4th and 2 for New Mexico State. And I thought they might just kick a field goal here, make it a touchdown deficit, but they are going to go for it. And we'll see how this turns out. Williams going to keep. Bobby Price going to come down with the stop, or Jason Taylor. I think both of them kind of helped there. And both teams turn it over on downs in the red zone. Of course, that one a little more detrimental for the Aggies, only down 10. And I give the ball back to Marquette. Going to just burn it here from here on out. Alexander another carry. Only gets a couple. Now less than 5 minutes left in the game. And Smith will keep here on the read option. Good block there by Jack Mason. Smith trying to cut it outside, but only gets 5. 3rd and 3. 3rd down for Marquette. And they go to Alexander. And he fights ahead for the first down. I don't think that's a situation we really could have gone for it if we got to the 4th down, you know, deep in our own territory. And a tremendous run there from Alexander to fight ahead for the first down. Gives a fresh set. And now at the 26. And we'll go with the counter here. Ran into our own man there at the line. No gain. 2nd and 10 now. Smith from the shotgun takes the snap. Go for Anderson there. And he makes the grab. Dylan Anderson, a very strong showing today. 4 grabs for 76. Only 17 pass attempts for Jason Smith today. 142 through the air. Not really giving him too much responsibility with the running game doing so well. Try a downfield shot here for Washington. And that was a weird one. We pulled back, but the controller did some weird stuff there. Incomplete. I do have to be better in some of those vertical shots with the receiver downfield. Sometimes when I user him, I kind of make it worse than it would have been. Smith will keep again on the read option. Good hole opens up the middle, and he's dragged down 8 yards. Now less than 2 minutes left in the game. Michael James into the backfield. And he gets the job done there on 3rd and short, and New Mexico State burns their first time out. Before we get out of here, though, I do want to highlight a couple more guys. Josh Terry, he's been a super fun player to play with over the past 2 years. Kind of, made us rethink the way we run this offense. Using him in the slot, using him at fullback. A very good athlete for the position at 6 foot, 238 with 88 trucking. The blocking manageable there. Decent ball carrier traits, but a better receiver. And we don't really get to see those stats. But rushing-wise, a couple touchdowns on the year. We kind of used him in short yardage situations. But through the air, he's going to end at over 1,000 yards. 4 touchdown catches last year. I think he was our leading receiver last year with 614 on 43 grabs. 5 touchdowns over his career, and we're going to miss him on the offense. And then there's Antonio Carr, our all-time leader in sacks, 6'5", 262. He was our highest defensive player that we brought in over the first 3 or 4 years. Not the best athlete at the position, but manageable. And he has good strength, good tackle, good block shed with a decent finesse move, 90 hit power, and he has forced a few sacks, forced 1 fumble this year, 3 last year, 2 the year before. Only 3 sacks on the year, so his production has really fallen off for whatever reason. 10 sacks last year, his career high. 4 as a freshman, and then 7 back in his sophomore campaign. 24 on his career so far, and like I said, the most any player has ever had in this series. Josh Terry and Antonio Carr, 2 more players who we're going to miss, but overall, I think we're only losing maybe 8 starters on both sides of the ball, so not bad turnover going into next year, although we will have the inexperience at quarterback, but a full offseason of Jason Smith, presuming that starting job, I think is going to be very good for the offense. We're going to lose Alexander, but we'll get McBride back, who's been out for a while now with that injury. But we're going to have a strong backfield, a strong receiving core, and like we mentioned earlier, our own line is only going to lose one starter, so our offense will be in very good shape going into next year. And now Smith, another drop back here, going to scramble, but then we'll hit Terry there, coming back to the ball, breaks a tackle, and then brought down on a second effort, now inside the 30, and New Mexico State burns their final timeout. Now just 1:43 left, going to just burn some clock as we've done, get out of here with a win. Try to go for the screen there, the RB, but the button does not work. Alexander, I think that would have worked out pretty well for him. We're tapping RB, but it doesn't work. I should have known better in that spot. I kind of forget about it sometimes. Now 2nd and 19. I'll go Craig Jones. Good blocking, and Jones will take that to the 30. So this one likely the last play of the game unless I feel like calling another one. We'll see how this goes. 3rd and 12. Give another one here to Dusty. Takes this to the outside. Good spin. Trying to work through some congestion there. What is going on? And that's going to actually net us 9. And we typically don't do this, but I think I'll call a timeout with like 1 second left and try and take a shot for the end zone. So yeah, like I said, we're just going to take one more shot for the end zone. Typically don't do things like this, but go inside smash. See if we can maybe get Washington or just maybe a dump off. Washington covered well there. Go for Coleman, the senior. And he's stopped there inside the 5. So we'll add on 17 more yards, pad the stats a little bit, as Kevin Coleman, the senior, will finish with 2 catches, 27 yards. And we do come away with a win on senior day for the first time since, I think, year 3 of this dynasty. So a good game here. Dusty Alexander, player of the game, kind of fed him the ball, and he took the workload on offense throughout the game. Now 8-3 on the year. Entered here at 15. We'll probably stay in that same range. Hopefully we could jump into the top 10 for the first time in this series, but I don't know if a win here against New Mexico State is quite going to do it. But this is where I'm going to leave you, folks. Thank you so much for watching. It was a fun one here today. We got a win. Now 8-3. We need to win the next 2 games to, hit our double-digit win goal, which we haven't done yet. I think 3 years now in a row of 9-4 football, but a tough test next week at Clemson, and they're going to be, I think, a top 10, top 15 team, kind of in the similar vicinity, but of course a much more talented roster at this point in the dynasty. But as always, everybody, it's been real, and be well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.